Well, hi there, fellow traveler. It's been a long journey to get where we are now. But do you really know the lands you wander through? It's important to know your enemy, and in a place as cold and lonely as this, a ladder is the closest thing you have to a friend. Sit down in this one dot of light and heat, because just like last time, I have a story to tell. We'll start with the most known and light-hearted mysteries, and slowly, but without stopping, we'll make our way to the darkest, coldest, and strangest pits this mountain hides. Because today I'll tell you about the Steep Steps Complete Mystery Iceberg, Part 2. Almost everyone who has played Steep Steps knows what the glider is. Appearing in Wild West, this tool allows the player to glide down, giving them an extra layer of safety. Not only makes your climbing way safer, but also allows you to perform some new ladder maneuvers, such as the most broken Tachinkan game, climbing your ladder, and from the top, using the glider. And taking things a step further also makes falls not necessarily deadly, since you can just glide down to a lower spot, instead of falling to the void. In fact, this tool is so broken that many claim it's the only reason of why Wild West is the easiest out of the 3 mountains. But what if I told you that the hardest mountain also has the glider in it? At 500 meters of altitude you'll find Falling Fred, who will give you a quest to retrieve his lost equipment. And to do so, he'll give you the glider. Once you finish the quest, he'll take away your glider. And also will give you the candy cane ladder, the polar ladder, and you'll be able to continue your climbing. But what if you decide to simply not finish the quest? Simple. That you'll get to keep the glider forever. Doing this trick is absolutely worth it and recommended, since Grassy Grounds is the hardest mountain, and this item will make your walkthrough way less frustrating and difficult. Every now and then, the developers of certain games tend to add little details or jokes without a real meaning, and the Steep Steps developers are no different case. The off ace is a tiny Easter egg that can be found in the Crystal Lake section on Wild West. It's more than probable that you may have missed it, since not only is pretty hidden, but is also very small. If you follow the path appearing on screen, you'll find the off ace. There's nothing much to do there, since it's just a cute secret, but I felt not many people knew about it, so that's why I decided to include it. In the last Iceberg video, we mentioned a few secret areas that were hidden in Steep Steps. And one of them was the Snowman Room. This hidden area can be found in the final section of Starting Steeps, following the path being shown on screen. For months, many wondered why was this here, since anything can be done or interacted with. Many theories appeared. Maybe it was just an Easter egg. Maybe as a piece of lore we had to connect. Maybe was a deleted quest. Well, after talking with the Steep Steps moderator, I finally have the answer. According to him, this was planned to be a quest. In here, you'll have to gather back the snowman with their relative, and once done, you would be rewarded the snowflake ladder. It is unknown why this quest was scrapped. Maybe it was too difficult to be done. Maybe Jandel simply liked the snowflake fragments idea better. Who knows? You already know the rest of the story. The quest to obtain the snowflake ladder was changed to the fragment-seeking one, and this snowman quest was simply left here, unfinished. I too received info about this quest from a very important member of the community, and by that I mean that this person was the creator of the snowflake ladder, the flame ladder, and even the dragon scale ladder. According to them, this quest never existed, and no one really knows why the snowman room was made. Maybe one day we'll get to know, but right now, all left is to speculate. It's crystal clear that there are deleted quests in Steep Steps, like the Snowman quest or the Green Ladder quest. But the quest I will tell you about in here may easily be one of the strangest ones that are 100% real. In the town located at 600 meters of altitude, a bakery can be found. In here, you can talk with one of the employees, who will tell you that the owner of the bakery, Steve, went missing during one of his deliver trips, and hasn't been seen ever since. At first this may seem like any other quest, right? It would be. The only issue is that Steve is literally nowhere to be found. Even if this quest was added back when starting Steeps was the only mountain, no one has been able to find Steve. There are many theories behind this. Many claim that this quest was a quest made by the old Steep Steps developer, and Jandel simply didn't feel like finishing it. But then, why not deleting the option to ask where Steve is? I've seen others theorized that this quest is indeed finished, but Steve simply hasn't been found yet. Even theorizing that upon completing this quest, a very secret ladder, maybe the Aqua Ladder, maybe an until now unseen ladder, would be rewarded to those founding him. There's nothing of Steve in the world of Steep Steps aside that one mention. Is like this baker had somehow non-clip throughout reality, disappearing and leaving nothing of his being behind. As a curiosity, a unique weird gray NPC has been found near the train checkpoint in Wild West. Some have theorized this may be Steve. Sadly, the NPC cannot be interacted with, making it impossible to know. This one is self-explanatory. In many games, maybe as a compensation for their labor done in the game, or maybe as a way to be recognized when playing, some games tend to give special items to its developers. Items that cannot be obtained by normal players, and whose use is limited to those who worked in the development of the game. And Steep Steps is no different case. This ladder you're seeing on screen is not a fan-made, but a real ladder that can be seen in-game. And just like this, are many more ladders that only developers can obtain, and who players like me or you will never see in our inventories. The Green Ladder, the Aqua Ladder, or the Gray Ladder. All of these ladders are known for their mystery, legends, and stories around them. Stories about their origins, about how to obtain them, or about its meaning in game. Despite being urban legends in the world of steep steps, all of these legends are well known, and thus, even if they cannot be obtained, their presence still can be felt in those curious players who try to come up with a well-put logical reasoning for these yet unanswered questions. But, picture this, dear viewer. A ladder so rare, so mysterious, so mythological, that not even a picture of it is left in game, and whose existence can only be proved by witnesses who claim they were there when this item existed. Well, this ladder exists, and is known as the Pink Ladder. There has only been one user who has owned this ladder. An old dev who worked for the creator of Steep Steps, and who was banned shortly after Jandel became the new owner of the game. For some reason, he not only was the only player, but also the only user who ever got this mysterious item in their inventory. I wish I could show you anything about it, a screenshot or similar, but as I said, the only evidence that this rare item existed are the testimonials of the developers and moderators who were there at the time. This is a sketch of what the Pink Ladder looked like. Of course, the story behind this ladder is unknown. Why it was created, or why only this developer had it, is a mystery that most likely will never be resolved. The nuclear ladder incident is an event that took place in March of 2023, and that most likely will never happen again. Unlike other incidents, such as the St. Patrick event, or another we'll see soon, this one was more curious than anything. For what I was told, a green bright ladder was put as decoration near a portal at 0 meters of starting steeps. This green bright ladder, who people referred as nuclear ladder, could be duplicated when doing a certain set of actions, and despite not being able to be obtained, since it was just mere decoration, a group of users who found out about this trick decided to duplicate this ladder as many times as possible. Of course, this had consequences for the rest of the players. Since ton of lag tended to appear once the number of nuclear ladder was significant, actively harming other players' game, and trolls would take advantage of this. Luckily, this nuclear ladder was removed, and this remained just as an incident that surprisingly, not many know about. This entry makes reference to what may be the biggest controversy to have ever happened in Steep Steps, and despite that, it went completely under the radar. P4YD is the original creator of Steep Steps. He and Jandel started to talk after Jandel discovered Steep Steps, and inspired by it, tried to make his own game with a climbing theme. As Steep Steps started to rise in popularity, Jandel made PY an offer. 1 million Robux for the 50% of the game. As Jandel was added into the team, something weird happened. PY claimed that he wanted zero recognition for Steep Steps, and allowed Jandel to take all the credit of such game. Being known as the creator of Steep Steps, the game kept increasing its popularity, especially after Jandel made a few TikToks about it. But drama would appear. Many people would start accusing Jandel of terrible things, such as underpaying his developers, or even laundering money. What the f***? People have too much spare time sometimes. Turns out PY participated with these claims, since he was the one who tended to underpay devs, be racist, and even manipulate fellow staff members. Jandel, of course, reached soon his limit, and made an offer to PY. Basically he wanted to buy the other 50% of the game. At the end, PY accepted, and due to his crimes, Jandel decided to ban him, assuring us that Steep Steps was better without him. In my personal opinion, Jandel did the right thing. It's true PY had talent and good ideas, but you simply cannot have a toxic person in the team, since sooner or later, issues would appear caused by his attitude that could easily drag the whole team down. Internal drama is the last thing a developing team needs, or else they will go down to the bottom. And talking about the bottom, I think we may have reached the Steep Steps is a popular game, and thus, like every other popular game, it has its fair share of players. Most of them, of course, join with the intention of having fun. However, that may not be the case for everyone who joins Steep Steps. Since there are other players who tend to join this game for other more disturbing, strange, and weird reasons than just playing it. And Ada is such player. Ada is a hacker. But not any hacker, but a hacker that has been able of evading Steep Steps moderators and developers, and whose motive, and even identity, is to this day unknown. Ada has the capability of shapeshifting. He's capable of morphing his body into different objects, being his personal preference. Ladders. Added to that, he can also fly as shown in some of the almost non-existent footage of him. But more than what he has done, the chilling thing to do is think what he could do. Ada's scripts are way more advanced than your mainstream kiddie scripter. In fact, his scripts seem to have been created for Steep Steps. If this is the case, then this would put Ada as someone who is capable of not only running, but even creating his own scripts. A hacker with the ability that he has shown is capable of much more wrongdoing than just ruining your climb, since it has been proven multiple times in the past that it only takes one bad man to ruin an account, a game, or even a life. Ada is currently missing. No one knows where he is, if he will come back, and if he does, when. He's able of creating scripts for determined games, he's able of evading developers and moderators, he is intelligent, and if you happen to see him, please contact me. If you are lucky, or maybe unlucky enough, once you join the game, there's an extremely rare chance that you'll end up in a place known as the Underworld. This place is so strange that the only reason of why I know about it is thanks to one of the moderators. There are a few conditions that the player must be in order to access this bizarre version of the game. Bad Wi-Fi may not be completely necessary, but it helps to slightly increasing your odds of ending up here. Joining crowded servers also may be a good idea to try to visit this place, and also, quitting Roblox and reopening has also been officially confirmed to be a method to increase your odds of ending up here. But what has this underworld? What does it look like? As I mentioned, there's no footage, but according to what a moderator told me, this looks like an alternative version of the mountain, and here, there's no fog, so you can see all the mountain from one spot. Also, the day changes to nighttime, and finally, the music stops playing. Your time here is limited, since you will only have a minute to enjoy this bizarre landscape before returning to the normal mountain. Some users who claim to have seen this place, they mentioned that they felt like if strange entities were looking at them. Like if this version of the mountain was the home of unidentified entities. Of course, this last part is just what some witnesses just felt like. Since there's no evidence if this version of the mountain has any tenants in it. To this day, no footage of the underworld has been discovered. The first time I was told about this rumor, I just couldn't believe it, but after being provided a bit of evidence that I'll show later, I felt like this mystery had to appear in the Iceberg. Steep Steps is full of quests. During your climb through any of the mountains, it is very likely that you will find NPCs that require your help to carry out a task. Stay with Me is the name of what may be the most strange and unknown quest in the entire game. In continuation, in a similar way to the Lost Climber in the last video, I'll show you what a witness of this event had to say about it. there's next to nothing of information about this incident. And it is unknown in what circumstances a player must be in for this to happen. But luckily, there are few signs that may indicate the arriving of this event. The first one, and the most clear one, is that a strange badge titled "Stay With Me" will appear in the badge list. And the second one is that both players who told me about it said that they experienced weird lag jerks shortly before finding the NPC of the little girl. Unlike other legends that have been covered up in here, I have literally no idea when, where, or how this little girl can appear in your game, but if you happen to find her, please make sure to contact me. All I can say is, make sure to view your badge list every now and then. And so, the iceberg has been completed. We've viewed each and every one of the secrets behind it, all the mysteries, legends, and rumors about it. But that doesn't mean it's over. During the making of this video, I was provided tons of new secrets and rumors about the game that I couldn't add here due to time issues. So a third part of the iceberg could be possible, but of course, that's for you guys to decide. If I see you like this video, then I'll do the third part as soon as possible, and who knows, maybe not only new mysteries, or even new layers could be added, but wait. We did reach the bottom, did we? There are no more layers, right? In my last iceberg video, we saw a very strange event happen to not one, but 3 different people who didn't know each other. This event was named as Lost Climber. Basically, a strange unidentified entity tends to appear on public servers where there are almost no players left, and it tends to take on the appearance of its victim. Back when I made the iceberg video, all the evidence I had of this myth was a screenshot and the testimony of those who found him during their climb. But after making the video, tons of people contacted me to tell me about their own experiences with this event. Most of the info I received were testimonials without evidence, so despite how truthful they may sound, I couldn't know if they were actually being honest or making it up. But from all the new info about this creature that has come out, there are not one, but 2 new pieces of evidence that may indicate that the Lost Climber may be more than just a legend. The first new piece of evidence of the existence of the Lost Climber is this photo. What's more interesting about it is the fact that this photo was taken by an official moderator of Steep Steps. The second new piece of evidence are not 1 but 2 photos taken by a normal player. What is more interesting of these 2 photos is that, in case of being real, we may finally know what happens once you get near the Lost Climber. I can't prove these photos are real or the work of someone with amazing editing skills, but just in case they are real, please, for the love of God, don't search for the Lost Climber, since if these pictures are real, then this entity wouldn't be just a broken bot, but something way more darker and dangerous. Well, I'll just show you the third photo.